All right. Hello, everybody. Most of you know me, but just in case you don't, I'm Tiffany Thoen, Coach Tiffany, and I help women who are high achievers who can do just about anything they set their mind to, except they still struggle in their relationship with food, to finally heal their relationship with food and quit wasting all that mental and emotional energy on food. It's so that they can do the things they really want to do in life and really enjoy themselves. And I'm here with Emily. She's the owner of Bolden Badass, a wonderful body positive gym in Portland. And we're going to answer some questions for you about fitness and intuitive eating. Emily, you want to tell me a little bit about your gym space?
Yeah, sure. So Bolden Badass is a gym that offers boot camps and semi-private training, and we work with women, people of color, queer folks, just trying to provide a safe and inclusive space. Also, we're body positive and health at every size. So obviously you and I have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, awesome. All right, well, we're going to be answering questions and just sending these out to you periodically. We really were seeing in the intuitive eating world and the health at every size world that there was a lot of kind of internal conflict that people were having around how exercise plays into their health and their relationship with food and their body. So these are kind of some of the burning questions that we've seen. So first, the biggest question is, how much exercise do I need?
This is such a big one. All right, do you want me to start here?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, totally. So I get this question from people all the time, and the question of how much is enough always depends on what you want to do with something, right? So when you think about how much exercise is enough for just every day, going about your life, wanting to do things that feel, make life feel easier, have enough energy, all that. Most people need to move around in some way a couple times a week. That's basically it. Yeah, I think this is one of those things that we can kind of feel out, but also just remembering that bodies are meant to move regularly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so I think it really, for me, it really depends on the person and their goals, and it depends on their body, right? And so we have all these we have like our fitness trackers is built into our phone now. The whole like 10,000 steps a day, apparently it was actually totally arbitrary.
Yep.
Yeah. And yet we do hear from like mental health professionals, medical professionals, like 30 minutes a day, right? And I've heard that it's like a 24-hour cycle, that really you get the benefits of having worked out for 24 hours. But the thing is that we know that there's also a cumulative effect, right? So it's much more complicated than the way that we are told. And that's why there's so much conflicting information out there. But in the intuitive eating world, I think it's really important to really take into account what feels good to my body, right? And also noting, like, if I have 3 or 4 days where I'm like in the car or I'm, sitting at my desk a lot, like, how does that actually feel in my body? For me, it does not feel very good. I start to feel kind of crunchy and cranky and like tense and stressed out, right? So for me personally, with my mental health, I do try to get some movement every day, but I find having more intensive movement more often, like you're saying, a couple times a week at least, on top of just walking outside or dancing around in the kitchen or those things. Yeah.
I think you hit on something really big here too, which is when we look at how much exercise is enough, one of the questions too is what counts as exercise, right? There's movement in general, like going for a walk. You mentioned you're going to walk the dog later, right? That's exercise. Not everything you do has to be high intensity interval training or strength training or something programmatic. Definitely for the movement that we do every day, if you're not going to the Olympics, you do not need to be doing something on plan and super intense every day of the week. And I think that's the other thing about feeling it out, is being like, how often for my goals and for my body do I need to move that hard? And am I moving too hard, right? Can I tell when I'm overtraining? Do I sense those things in my system? I think, this kind of bleeds over into the principles of intuitive eating too, but a lot of us have been moving for reasons that aren't internally located for so long, right? That we've been doing what we think other people think is enough, that we lose track of really knowing whether or not it's working for us. So
I love
it can be about recalibrating that.
Oh, totally. I love that you just brought this up. So the idea of like enough, like what is that question really about? Like, are you enough that your trainer is going to be happy with you? Enough that you, are to counterbalance other things, which we're going to talk about. Enough
Yep.
to feel good, enough to be strong enough to, run a marathon. Like, enough is, it's kind of like a should, right? Like, how much exercise should I be doing to kind of be able to like check the box and feel like it was the right amount.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah,
really
this is some
fluid.
homework you have to turn into someone. Like, well,
Yeah.
you make such a good point too. Is like when you have different, you mentioned goals. This is a word that is super highly valence, right? In fitness, goals always means like, what size do you want your pants to be? Which is not, I think, what you and I are talking about. But when you're training for a specific reason, that might be a different thing, right? So people tell me all the time they want to be fit. This is a terrible euphemism that we use in the industry. And I think the question we should always be asking is like, fit for what? Right? Is like, if you want to run a marathon, that's a different kind of thing than if you want your joints to not hurt or you want to have better mental health. And so looking at what's really behind that goal and being like, like you said, am I working out to counterbalance something, or because I read this like arbitrary standard in a magazine, or does it fit what I'm trying to do with it?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Like, is your goal to be able to climb a mountain? Is your goal to feel more comfortable in your body? Is your goal to feel stronger, right? Or do you have kind of like a sport that you want to be participating in? Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Are you just wanting to have better sex? Like, like more athletic sex? Like, there's lots of reasons you might want to be fit.
I have heard all of those goals from people.
And the mental health piece is huge, right? So, and there are other benefits, like your gut health actually improves when you just exercise more. Like, just exercising improves gut health, right? So I think it's really taking it from an external should around it to an internal, in tune with my body and my desires, relationship rather than a transaction.
Absolutely.
Beautiful. All right. Well, next we're going to be talking about what if you don't feel like it, or what if you don't want to, or what if you really hate it? Like, should you force yourself, or what is, like, how do we get to that balance point? I think this is really important because it kind of goes hand in hand with like, how much is enough, right? And like, what are the benefits I'm wanting to get? So I can't wait to talk about that.
Yeah.
All right. See you soon.